have some weird issue where the motor stops working and then you're schlepping a 50-something pound bike around, you know? So it's like there's a trade-off to it.
Right back there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll go grab
All
one.
right. Hell yeah.
All right.
Man, how many videos are gonna start like this, huh? What's over there?
All my monster trucks that broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that one, I think I got
What bars are these? Did he sell this to you, or is it here? Why is it here?
He sold it to me. He put it up for sale. I'm like, wow.
All right, boys, I'm gonna head out.
Later. This is the S&M post, and it's round inside and maybe not. It's like the center circle's a little off. And then this is the deco post, and it has a, what would you call that? It has that feature. Interesting. Now I'm curious if that did anything to the weight. Yeah, dropped an ounce. Man, it's hard to wait all night. Wanted to do an unboxing in a well-lit room here, but got something for Flatland fuel. Obviously, at this point, you guys know it's for that frame that you saw in the beginning. You know what that is? I'll talk about it after I open this. So there should only be two things in this box. And I want to show you this one first, because it's the easiest to comprehend. Intrikat bars, 8.5 rise. This bar is something that just feels so good. I had a bike stolen in 2010. It was a Quaman Delta with the Arctic camo rims, and I had Hero bars on it at the time. That bike got stolen off of a train while I was asleep on my way home from a jam at Tompkins Square Park or something like that in New York City. So I rebuilt a bike with a sick child frame and a bunch of parts, and originally I had the relapse bars on it, and then I switched to these bars probably a little bit after that. So 2011 maybe I've been on Intrikat bars, and they just feel so good. There's something about them. 6 back, 3 up, and the smooth bends. Being of a brand, Intrikat, you know, same thing with the frame. I grew up on the Intrikat videos. That was the sickest vibe, the most hardcore Flatland with all the greats in it, and you know, been a fan since. So that could have something to do with it. I like the 8.5 rise, the smallest ones. I don't want to go too big with bars, but it's good to have a backup set just in general. But this is obviously for another bike. Then got this 015 fork. Let's see it. There we go. Very interesting. Couple of holes. 0 or 15. Obviously, this is like a street flat fork or mixed offset if you're interested in both offsets. My use is going to be flat street because that's the type of build this is going to be. So that's cool. And reason it's flat street is because this Intrikat, it's this one. This is the same version as the one I have currently, the black one I built up, except this one is 20-inch. So Flatland geometry, the Flatland back end, same bike as the 19 that I'm riding, but 20-inch top tube. even though I'm a Flatland guy, have been my whole time, been riding since '98, and when I built up that Ultra in '99, which is a flat specific bike, it was flat specific, and that was like a year later, you know. But I've always been a BMX kid, and my first heroes were Dave Mira and Matt Hoffman, and I've always, this whole time, I've had various street bikes that I would build up and take apart. And I've always wanted something flat street. I intended that Wii to be a flat street when I built it up, and that's why I got 19.5 top tube, and why I kind of, you know, referenced Kyle's frame with the flat street geometry. But then Pegasus came around and started making graveyard sprockets, you know, and I had to get one of those. And then Liberté made graveyard bars, and oh man, I had to get those. So turned into a Flatland build anyway, because I wanted to ride big pegs for comfortable feet and zero offset, and that just doesn't mix with street, you know, because otherwise it was just going to be a mixed build to ride everything on, because I like to dabble in a skate park, but I don't like to be without my Flatland tricks either. So I had always been plotting something like this because I have enough spare parts to do this. I was going to get something 19.5, like a fit shortcut or something, and I was on the brink of doing this, but you know, when do you prioritize building up another bike? And then Alfred hit me up. He said, hey Dave, you interested in this? And he was also interested in a stem wrap, so we worked out a deal, and a 20-inch Intrikat. At first I'm like, 20 inches, that's a little long for flat street, I don't know, but it's got a short back end. It's about the same full length as my old bike wheelbase wise, and since it'll feel exactly like the Intrikat I'm on, except the longer top tube, but the same back end, same everything else, same geometry, I'm gonna give it a go. And then speaking of same geometry, I'm gonna run a duplicate handlebar setup, so it'll feel pretty good. And then I'll run 0 offset forks or 15 mil offset forks with a mixed flat street fork. Got this situation going on, so I'll probably leave it set up in street mode, 15 mil offset, and have it as a thing to, you know, mostly use for skate park riding. But I don't want to be without my flat tricks, and I can do some flat tricks with offset, you know, but if I really wanted to get down, or you know, for certain types of travel. The other reason I like doing this is because just in general, having a backup bike, backup parts, you know, if I love these bars so much, I don't mind having another set on a bike back home, you know, just in case anything were to happen. So I'm trying to make this bike feel super similar to my flat bike, but, you know, just be a little longer, a little more stable for street stuff, but be able to take my flat tricks to street and all the above, and just ride BMX, man, you know, especially now that I have a drivetrain that's 160 cranks and a 2-to-1 ratio. It doesn't lend itself to like grabbing a bike and going out and cruising. This bike is gonna have 25/9 ratio and a little roomier, and just be able to mash around and bunny hop up and down curbs and jump off things, and you know, that's about the extent. Give me a manual pad, you know, I don't really want to grind per se, but I want to hit my peg in on a little drop in on the quarter at that skate park. I want to do, you know, I got that BMX in me, you know, as we all do. When I ride down the road, or when I drive down the road, when you're looking out the window, I see all that stuff. I want to ride that. A dip in the thing, a bank, under a bridge, you know. You just want to put wheels on it. So, you know, I am strictly Flatland, but I'm a BMX rider at heart. And I started riding everything, and I've always dabbled in everything. And, you know, I'm going to continue to do so with this bike. I guess the next thing I can do is show you the parts I have queued up for this bike. You already know I've got this setup sitting around, 4P tie bolt and 4P seat, and the deco post. I do have spare Iggy grips, but I'm gonna try Scott's grips. Scott is a friend from New York, and he makes these grips with his own homemade setup. He's got his own company. From mixing up the stuff and pouring them into molds, makes each one handmade. So it's a very cool process. I'm stoked that my friends are doing things like that, and I'm gonna give them a go on this bike. Stem, gonna mount the Intrikat bars to this Profile Acoustic 36 mil. I already had this stem. I tried it out, and it was just a little, to be honest, it felt a little streety. And oddly enough, gonna put it on my flat street bike, so kind of worked out perfect. What else worked out perfect is the blue match in the seat, and the blue match in this Profile chainring. You know, everything's so serendipitous that the building of my old flat bike freed up the chain ring to go on the Quamin, the graveyard one, and then that freed up this sprocket to go on with this stem on this street bike. And I have a profile chain ring on my flat bike and the 25 tooth version, although it looks different. They do a different drill for the bigger version, so matching chain ring on the matching frame Intrikat. It's too cool. Speaking of which, my previous build freed up profile cranks, tie spindle. So it's gonna be just as nice a setup. I have a bottom bracket on order. I'm gonna get that through my shop. I might piece together a headset with the extra 4P headset pieces and bearings I have. It all depends on the health of bearings. But what else? So bottom bracket is needed for the cranks I just showed you. I'm also gonna make my bars feel similar with these. I don't know if you've noticed, but I run BizHouse rings, the grip rings, but not as grips. I run them as, they don't really work as they don't work as a grip stop, but they're on the insides of my grips because with bars with sweep, these hit the ground before the grips do, and these are tougher than grips, so they're kind of like grip savers. And I have a little stash running low, but I have enough for another set of bars, and it'll help the bars feel similar to my Flatland set. Previous titanium bar ends that I was running on my flat bike right here, you know, I'll have the tie ones on my street bike, and then I've been enjoying the Iggy ball ends in plastic on my flat bike, so I'm gonna keep that ball rolling. Pedals, the Primo pedals off my old bike. A lot of this stuff I just had sitting around. I didn't have to buy much. Wheels. I have this Revenge Free Coaster wheel set sitting around. I bought it for my bike originally when I built up the Wii, knowing that I was gonna get the Intrikat from Eric Klee, and I would take the wheels off that and put them on my bike, which, that's a complicated story. Maybe you're piecing it all together from the bits and bobs if you've seen all the videos. But anyway, Free Coaster wheel set. It'll feel exactly the same as the Primo wheel set I'm running. Heresy tires, 1.9. I have all black ones, so, you know, and this is a brand new one, and this one's barely been used, so this will feel great on the bike. It'll feel similar to my flat bike. It's all set up for success here. So the only things I don't have are chain, bottom bracket, and headset. I'll figure that out somehow, but everything else is here. Last item is going to be pegs. I don't have those yet either. So when I build this bike up, I'm going to use these, which have adapters to go 14 or 3/8. I think these are Infinity Cup pegs, right? But they were on Klee's Intrikat when he built that up, so they came in that. They just happen to be in this cool Suelo box that I kept since back in the day because I have Suelo pegs on my old blue bike, which I'll show you one day, but that's what I keep these in. I'm gonna put these pegs on. I won't grind on these pegs, but they'll be there for flat sessions and then take them off when I'm gonna ride street or just not grind. So now I just gotta get this thing built once the rest of the parts land and take it for a spin. And I can't wait to see how similar and different it feels to my flat bike. There's a good idea of what the build will look like. It's most of the parts. Heck yeah. Let me slap her together. Just notice that cool little detail. Focus. Can you see that? Flatland. All right, so this is as far as I've got. I'm just gonna post the video. I'll finish it up for the next one. Rear wheels on, there's the setup looking there. Seat is set the exact same height as my other one. And I actually set the stem like this. I played around with different orientations of the stem, right side up and upside down, and spacers everywhere. And this got the handlebars at the exact same height as the Intrikat that I'm riding for flat. So I'm gonna try and rock it like this. Just need a drivetrain and she's golden.